So plenty of people are taking another look at the night sky as they sit home during this pandemic.
Yeah, and those who track UFO sightings say that there's been a noticeable and significant increase in the U.S. and here in Minnesota. We put the Fox 9 investigator team of Tom Lydon and others on the case and discovered more and less that we bargained for.
Sunset brings the stargazers to a cliff overlooking the Minnesota River, a place where you can stare up and wonder, are we really all alone?
Absolutely. I think that the world's too big for there not to be UFOs, actually. I think it's almost impossible for there not to be something out there.
I'm sure that the government knows something, but I feel like right now it's kind of ridiculous.
There's a whole fleet of them. Look on the ASA.
It sounds less ridiculous after the Pentagon released classified video earlier this year of Navy jet fighters chasing down an object of unknown origin, moving faster than any known aircraft in ways that seem to defy the laws of physics.
They're all going against the wind. The wind's 120 knots to the west. Look at that thing, dude.
The Pentagon recently announcing a task force to detect, analyze, and catalog what they now call unidentified aerial phenomena that could potentially pose a threat to U.S. national security.
They're all over the place, I think. You know, you just never really know what you're going to find.
We saw one the other night.
These cliffs are also the perfect scouting location for what may be the most common UFO sighting in Minnesota.
I saw a huge thing of lights in the sky.
A story I first covered 25 years ago. A gigantic and menacing circular object in the night sky, hovering above the western suburbs.
And it was weird, you know. I mean, I can't explain it. I took pictures of it, and
yeah,
you know, I mean, that's that.
At first, but when I saw it, I had to look twice.
We might not be too far from Mystic Lake Casino.
Come to find out, this is a close encounter of the casino kind. Exploring their archive and database.
Alright, I just want to play just that little bit of the first half. Shalom. Shalom Israel. First foremost, I want to give our praises unto Yahweh. Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Rakakadash. Double honor to the apostle of this great millstone. Shalom to you brothers pushing this truth and sincerity all over the earth. And it's not really an article. It was just more of a news clip from Fox. And this is all, as you see right here, I'm going to read it real quick. It says why UFO sightings are up in 2020. It says there has been a significant increase in sightings of UFOs in 2020, both here in Minnesota and across the nation, according to the groups who track such events. Now, I scrolled down to see if there's more, and there wasn't. It was just nothing but a whole bunch of videos. So it's just a news article pretty much, or the video. And as you see, in the video, I'm going to go back to
UFO.
When right here.
More?
I feel like right now it's kind of
moving faster than any known aircraft in ways that seem to defy the laws of physics.
They're all going against the wind. The wind's 120 knots to the west.
How they were amazed by what's going on. It's going against
the Pentagon recently announced
miles wind speeds 104 miles per hour, and you've seen how it was moving in like what the dude say in defying ways. And these people are shocked because the only thing these people understand, as far as their knowledge knows, is things don't move like that. So that's why they call them UFOs, because they're unidentified flying objects. You see? And these people are amazed when they see these things. But little do they know that those are the chariots, man. So-called UFOs. And they're in the scriptures. And the thing is, the chariots are not limited to how they move. How their stealth bombers and their jets and their planes and so on and so forth, they're not limited to how they move, as in they can't. For an example, if a plane or a jet wanted to make a right, like you're in the air and you wanted to go to the right, they have to turn the whole thing around for them to turn in that direction for them to go right. It's like, for example, like when you turn the steering wheel. When you're in the car and you turn the steering wheel, you got to turn the thing right for the car to go that way. They have to do that. Here, you can just zoom to the right, zoom. It can go. It can be going all type. It can go like just say like 200 miles per hour. Let's just say that, just for an example, 200 miles per hour in the air. If it wants to jet right, it can just go right to the right. It can just go up, straight down, and it goes at who knows how fast it can go, man. We don't know. But how do we know this? Because it's in the scriptures, in Ezekiel, and I'm going to get it. See, chariots are not limited to the things that Esau and his technology is limited to. The chariots are not going to have to stop to get gas and asking another angel how much you got on him. You didn't bring enough money. Gas is $3 a gallon. You only got $2. You left your wallet in the heavens. No, man, you're not gonna have to do all this, man. And the angel's not gonna have to spot you a couple bucks so you can get some. No, man, there ain't gonna be none of that. You understand that these things that Esau has, they have to fill those things up. They have to constantly doing check and maintenance on the vehicle or on the aircraft and all these things. You're not gonna do that in the chariot, man. You're not gonna do that in the chariot. The chariot doesn't have to worry about all those things. You see, and when it comes down to it, when the chariots come, we're gonna be seeing them in full effect, man, because they'll be zapping people, beaming up people, dodging missiles and gunfire, and doing all types of things, man, that Esau things cannot do. Esau is not gonna win. Esau is not gonna win because we know in the Apocrypha how it goes, how they were so afraid when they seen Yahushua, the chariots and the things. They were so afraid, but what did they do? They still fought. They're gonna be seeing the chariots do all types of things, entering dimensions, coming out of dimensions, cloaking themselves, doing all types of things, man. And these jets and these fighter planes that Esau have, they can't do none of that. They can't do what the chariots do. That's why, and they've never seen anything like this. That's why they're amazed when they see stuff like this, because they've never seen it. But it's still a very amazing, beautiful thing to see for us, because we understand that those are the chariots, man. Those are in the scriptures. Those are what's going to be the things that's going to deliver Israel. You see? So, and Esau, you gotta best believe that they're holding back secrets, man. Best believe that these Rothschilds and the top banking family and the Illuminati and all them, they know what's going on. They know what those are, man. But these average day Edomites, the jetters, that's in the Navy, they don't know what's going on, man. They're just amazed at the fact of seeing something move that fast, being able to move in directions where quickly, moving swiftly, being able to do things without even having to turn the whole vehicle, the whole aircraft, making it go one way or another. Because jets and planes, they can't just go straight up and down and left and right. They can't do that. But the chariots can. And let's get it. But let's get this first. Acts 1:9. And when he had spoken these things, while they beheld, he was taken up, and a cloud received him out of their sight. And we know the cloud is what? So-called UFO, the chariots. Verse 10. And while they looked steadfastly toward heaven, as he went up, behold, 2 men stood by them in white apparel, which also said, Ye men of Galilee, why stand ye up gazing into the heaven? This same Yahushua, which is taken up from you into heaven, shall so come in a like manner as ye have seen him come into heaven, as you see him go into heaven. So in the same way you seen him go into heaven is the same way you're going to see him come back. And he got taken up in a what? In a chariot. So what he's going to come back with? He's going to come back with a chariot, man. You see? So UFO things is not so-called UFOs. Where do you think they get that stuff from, man? All that stuff comes from the scripture. When you're watching these movies, TV shows, YouTube videos, whatever the case, they've been telling UFOs it's gonna be aliens with big green heads and beady and big black eyes, driving these things, beaming up cows and things. No, man, that's not the case. But they got the UFO thing from the scriptures. 100%. Just like they get everything else from in these movies that we watch. And that's proof that the clouds are chariots. Psalms 104 and verse 3. Who layeth the beams of his chambers into the waters? Who maketh the clouds his chariot? Who walketh upon the wind, the wings of the wind? Who maketh his angel spirits, his ministers a flaming fire? Who laid the foundations of the earth that should not be removed forever? See? So they make, when you see clouds in the scriptures, it can be also talking about a chariot. You see? And then to get this to go to, because the chariots, they don't have to do things to turn what these jets and these other aircrafts do. Let's go to it. I'm trying to think where I want to start at. Let's go down a little bit. Okay, let's start at 15. Ezekiel 1 and 15. Now, as I beheld the living creatures, behold, one wheel upon the earth, by the living creatures with his 4 faces. The appearance of the wheels and their work was like unto the color of beryl, and they had 4, and they 4 had one likeness, and their appearance and their work was as it were a wheel in the middle of a wheel. When they went upon their 4 sides, and when they turned not when they went. As for the rings, they were so high that they were dreadful, and their rings were full of eyes round about them. And when the living creatures went, the wheels went by them, and when the living creatures were lifted up from the earth, the wheels were lifted up. Whithersoever the spirit was to go, they went thither. Was there the spirit to go, and the wheels were lifted up over against them, for the spirit of the living creature was in the wheels. When those went, these went, and when those stood, these stood. And when those were lifted up from the earth, the wheels were lifted up over against them, for the spirit of the living creature was in the wheel. See, he was saying wherever it went, that's when. Wherever it went, that's where the chariot went. When it lifted up off the ground, that's when the chariot got lifted up off the ground. And Esau, for their planes and stuff to get lifted up, they gotta start on a runway. You gotta start on a runway. You gotta turn on the vehicle, do all this. You gotta let it up. You gotta ease your way into it, and then boom. Because I was on just a prime example. Because I was on a plane not too long ago, a couple of months ago. And, planes, all the brothers that's been on airports they all know this. When you're on a plane, and before you get ready to take off, obviously, everybody's sitting down and waiting for everybody to get in, and for the one way to be clear and make sure everything's checked and gas and all that stuff's done. And when you're on the runway, when you're in the car, when you're in the plane, sitting waiting for it, they back up. And the plane has to increase speed. That's why runways are so long. And you have to, I was watching it all happen out the window because I had a window seat. So the plane backed up. It went, went around like this little circle place, like it went around. And it was it was a very, very big runway. So as it was going, the runway, the plane was increasing speed. And then it finally got to the point to where the plane has to reach a certain speed for it to take off in the air. So it went around the runway, it gained speed, and then it finally went on the long strip. And then in the strip, that's when it finally took off. Man, planes just can't take off. Chariots, best believe that they're going to be able just to land, and you get in it, however you're going to start it, however it goes, you're just going to and just disappear. You're just going to be able to go. You're not going to have to go on a run. It's not going to be in the kingdom. It's going to be a runaway for the chariots. Park your chariots, and everybody get in. You got to start. You're not going to be able to do that, man. Esau is not going to be able to match the Heavenly Father's power, man. When he comes back and these chariots come, they're not going to be able to do anything to stop them, because just simply the fact that the Lord's chariots are far more superior in technology, way more advanced than what Esau has, man. They're not going to be able to stop it. There's no way. Just the fact that the movement of the planes and jets and stealth bombers and things like that, just the movement off theirs compared to the movement on the chariots, there's just no way. Which is not going to happen anyway, but there's just no way. So Esau, and that's the whole thing about some months ago. I was probably way like a year ago, 2 years ago, maybe, when Trump first started talking about that. What was he talking about? What is it called? The Space Force. That's what that's for, man. To fight against the Yahushua and the angels. That's what that Space Force thing is about. Not so you can go to Mars and explore and do all. No, that's not what that Space Force was for. That was for fighting the Lord and the angels, man. All right. So that was pretty much it. I just want to touch on that. I've seen it. So yeah, man. Give all praises unto Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushua, by Hashem and Kakadash. Double honor to the apostles, the elders, the great millstone. And shalom to you brothers pushing the truth and sincerity all over the earth. And shalom to you hopeful elect out there. Hope the lesson was edifying. I'll catch you guys in another lesson. Shalom.